So I came up rough, right? I'm from Baltimore, West Baltimore, Sandtown, right? If you don't know, now you know. If you want to find out more, Google it. But I came up rough, like a lot of others. Poverty, etc., etc., crime, etc., etc. But what I was able to figure out at some point in my life, not too long ago, maybe 10, 15 years now, is that what you get in life is what you command from it, what you calmly demand of it. And so I spent some time thinking about that and how that works, especially for a person who grew up impoverished, because I'm telling you, one of the most difficult things to overcome is an impoverished mindset, a mindset that says, I don't deserve anything more, anything other than what I'm experiencing right now as a kid in Sandtown in West Baltimore, which wasn't much of anything. And so, in figuring this out, and figuring out how to change the mindset, I had to look into what blessings are and what curses are, because we grew up with this belief that you're cursed. The reason that your life is so tough, so difficult, so bad, if you will, is because you're cursed. But as an adult, I had the opportunity to really figure out these things and think about it to the degree that I now understand that blessings and curses are really kind of sort of one and the same, and at the same time non-existent. They're one and the same because the same energy that is called a blessing, which is a positive thing in your life, something that benefits you in some way, comes from the same source as what we call a curse, which would be a negative experience or something that is quote unquote bad. And so it really depends on the seer, on the person who's looking at it, on the person who's experiencing it, as to what you call a blessing or a curse. If I spend my money, most often I'm going to look at that as a curse, as something that is bad. But the person who receives it says that money is being circulated, and they look at it as a blessing. So for me, it's a curse because it's something negative. It's bad, if you will. But to them, it's a blessing because it's good. And so it's all about how you look at things, how you believe, and how you have been taught and instructed and trained on thinking and believing. And it's very difficult to overcome this mindset. This is why poverty exists in the communities where I grew up at, and in communities like that across America. This is why, because the thinking, to change the thinking, requires something of a rewiring to take place, and that is just very difficult to do. But if you understand that blessings and curses are the same, just it all depends on how you look at it, but it's the same energy, just depends on how you look at it, then you will understand that you can overcome any curse by changing your mind about it, which should change your feeling about it, which should change your belief about it, which will change your actions about them. And if you get to do this early enough in life, you can experience life as a blessing, and every part of life as a blessing, because nothing is happening to you in life. People who live life from an impoverished mindset, they believe that things are happening to them. They don't see themselves as a part of this grand scheme of things. They believe that things are happening to them, and they're always coming up short. But if you look at life as though things are happening for you, then even those tough situations, like growing up in the projects with nothing of financial means or physical resources at times, they're happening for you. Those things are happening for you. The first thing that I did when I realized that nothing's happening to me, because I'm not a victim, but things are happening for me, is to change my mindset, change my mind, change my thinking about how I actually interact and needed to interact with the world. Instead of presenting myself as a victim, a needy victim who could easily be controlled, I changed my mindset and I said, no, I am the expector. I am the one who expects better. That's what I called myself for years, the expector. I expect better. The rough spots and the hard and the difficult circumstances in life told me that you should and can expect better. If you're on the first step of the ladder, there's only one way to go. Right? It's only one way to go if you're way at the bottom of the ladder, right? And so I focused on that. I expected to go up. It's very difficult to go down. So I expected to go up the ladder. And so I learned to think like a person who's climbing the ladder. I am climbing the ladder. And then a person who was at the top and stepped off onto the roof. And on the rooftop, guess what? I was the only one there. And it was beautiful. I loved it. This was all taking place in my mind. Of course, my physical reality had to follow. Physical reality had to follow. But this is what has to happen. It's not happening to you. It's happening for you. It is for your benefit to go through whatever it is that you're going through right now. I know it's tough. I know it's difficult. Some of you who are listening to this will say, hell no. There's no way that the things that have happened to me were happening for me. I won't argue with you on that, because you have to change your mind about that. 10 months ago, I had cancer. I don't now. 2 years before that, it was COVID, which almost killed me, as well as diabetes. I don't have those things now. And when I say I don't have diabetes now, I'm telling you, I beat diabetes. I beat cancer as of 10 months ago. Some of the most difficult things have happened in my life. I don't harp on them. I don't dwell on them. For what? For what? I climbed the ladder. I am climbing the ladder. I want what's on the roof. That's it. That's my mindset. That's the way I see it. That's the way I look at it. I want what's on the roof. And so I climb. Same old 7 and 6. Nothing more, nothing less.